WMAQ News Time, 5:28.
Hi, I'm Mickey Sims of Stephen Sims Subaru in Evanston, and we're very excited. We just had our best-selling month ever.
And we want it to continue, so we're making even greater deals on every new and used car in stock.
Where's Stephen?
Justies, Loyals, Legacies.
Where's Stephen?
Mom, what are you talking about?
Stephen always does the radio spots. Don't you think we should wait for him?
No, Mom. He, said he was busy and that we should do the spot.
Are you sure? You know how he likes to do them.
No, Mickey's right, hon.
Come to Stephen Sims Subaru and get a great deal on every new and used car in stock. With our near 100% customer satisfaction rating and great Subaru values, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, let me out.
Do the new Subarus have talking trunks?
Nick, this isn't funny.
It's a new option, Mom.
Yeah, the new option.
Yeah.
Stephen Sims Subaru, 715 Chicago Avenue in Evanston. Dial 312 Subarus.
Hey!
WMAQ News Time, 5:29.
Once again, CNN was the first to break the story of the Soviet coup. And here in Chicago, WMAQ All-News 67, the exclusive radio home of CNN, was the first to bring you all the details of the Soviet takeover. Stay tuned to WMAQ Radio for continuous CNN updates and rapidly changing developments in the aftermath of the Soviet uprising. Live CNN reports, only on WMAQ Radio.
I'm Bob Conway, and you're home for White Sox baseball. 670 WMAQ Chicago. Now a CNN News update at the tone. The time is 5:30.
10-year veteran Norm Johnson of
The change in the Soviet Union. There are alarming developments in Yugoslavia. Fighting today between the Yugoslav army and Croatian forces is blamed on at least 7 deaths. Zelka Bojic of Croatian television predicts things could get worse.
Nobody seems to be in control of the federal army now. They are a real occupational army, and though they have the supremacy, our fighters, our National Guard and militia are fighting back. Though they have been losses within the occupational army, we hit some 20 tanks, 4 APCs, and 5 planes, and several other things they had in between, but there were dozens of killed or wounded on our side because they provided us 25 attacks in 2 days only.
Croatian television showed footage of burned-out tanks, burning barricades, and buildings destroyed. Lithuania is starting to show signs of its own independence, issuing visas on its own and taking charge of customs posts. From the CNN News Center, I'm Ed McCarthy. The head of the Emergency College of Emergency Physicians says emergency rooms in the U.S. are in crisis, and it becomes so crowded, service has to be limited to the seriously ill. Federal prosecutors say Pet Incorporated is pleading guilty to a charge of conspiring to fix bidding prices on milk contracts with schools in 4 states. Prosecutors say their probe into other companies and similar dealings continues. 1 is dead and 12 others injured from the crash of a helicopter taking workers to an oil rig off the coast of Louisiana. Those who survived were rescued within minutes of the crash. The Environmental Protection Agency says certain kinds of insect repellent may be harmful to unborn babies of pregnant women and cause birth defects. Researchers say widespread use of green tea in Japan could be an explanation why Japanese men who smoke have lower rates of lung cancer than Americans who smoke less. This is CNN Radio News.
Fair and warm in Chicago tonight. It's 91 at O'Hare right now, going down to 70 degrees. Now WMAQ traffic and weather. With a look at the city and suburban conditions. Once again, here's Joe Collins.
Yeah, currently, Bob, northbound Lakeshore Drive, pretty stacked up. Chicago River to Diversey. That's mostly people going to the Cubs game. And Monroe to Hollywood, just over 30 minutes at this point. Southbound, actually in pretty excellent shape despite a lot of the haze. And speaking of the haze, way up high in the haze right now, it's Captain Don Nelson.
Real high burner to try and fly through this stuff as well. We do have some problems as well if you're traveling in the Westchester area. Southbound on Manheim Road, avoid it. South of the Eisenhower, it's a mess all the way down to about Cermak Road. That's southbound of Manheim. And because of a wide load truck that's got some problems right in the intersection of Manheim and Cermak at that particular point. Southbound of the Tri-State, we're getting word of a possible problem around Half-Day Road. Be careful there. From Willow Road down to the Northwest Tollway, no major problems. A lot of heavy pockets around Ogden Avenue and such. The inbound side of the Northwest Tollway, a little low gear between the Des Plaines Oasis and Manheim. Southbound Route 83, Pratt on down to the 290 is on the brakes, and the outbound side of the East-West Tollways. Lugging it out, Midwest Road out to 355. Heavy pockets in both directions right around Route 53. And southbound 53, it's the parking lot status from Palatine down to Northwest Highway, northbound from on Gulf Road up to Kershaw. I'm Captain Don Nelson, WMAQ Suburban Air Patrol.
Now, meantime, the Kennedy is starting to improve a little bit. Still 20 out to Montrose, 30 to the airport. Express lanes will save you 5 minutes. Inbound, I heard it downtown. We're looking at 35. The outbound Edens is good. Inbound, Lake Cook to Montrose, under 30. Eisenhower out to Manheim, a little over a half an hour. And inbound heavy at Manheim at 25th to 1st. Stevenson to the Tri-States, 35. And inbound heavy California to Damon. The Ryan out to 95th. That's a 25-minute journey. And inbound looks in pretty decent shape at this point. MAQ Transit Desk says no problems on Metro with shadow traffic every 10 minutes on the ones. Joe Collins, MAQ All-News 67.
Fair and warm tonight, low 70. For tomorrow, it'll be partly sunny, hazy, hot, and humid, a high in the mid-90s. Right now, 91 at O'Hare, going down to 70 degrees. MAQ News Time, 5:34.
Chicago's Got It, sponsored in part by Miglin Beitler. Chicago's Got It. Architecture. Chicago is the architectural capital of the world, home to the very first skyscraper and to the modern towers of glass, steel, and granite, some of the tallest buildings in the world. Many famous architects and developers have made their home Chicago and have created buildings that have made Chicago's skyline exciting. People come from all over the world to see Chicago's architecture and experience the many styles it offers. Chicago's Got It. Architecture.
You go into business with one goal, to get to the top. There's something many top Chicago businesses have in common, their address. Chances are they're in a Miglin Beitler property. Miglin Beitler manages some of the most prestigious Class A business addresses in Chicagoland with one rule, total service. And there's room for your business. Space is available now in Miglin Beitler buildings throughout Chicagoland, including 181 West Madison in the heart of the Loop, and Oakbrook Terrace Tower, the tallest building in the suburbs. Call Miglin Beitler at 312-726-1700 for leasing information. MAQ News Time, 5:35. Now the WMAQ Medical Report, and from the Chicago Medical Society, here's Dr. Connie Bonbrest.
To guard against the major cancers threatening American women, you need to know about the effective methods of prevention and early detection. Everyone has a different level of cancer risk. Your risk of acquiring cancer depends on such factors as age and personal and family medical history. Cancer risk is also affected by your lifestyle and health habits. 4 leading cancers, breast, lung, colorectal, and uterine, take a needlessly heavy toll on American women. Lung cancer is the #1 killer of women, yet nearly 3/4 of those deaths could be prevented if women didn't smoke. See your physician and talk about your cancer risk, what tests you need, how often you need to have them, and what else you can do to prevent cancer. From age 20 to 40, you should have a cancer-related checkup every 3 years, and then every year after 40. If cancer should be found, detection will give you the best chance for cure. From the Chicago Medical Society, I'm Dr. Connie Bonbrest for MAQ All-News 67.
MAQ News Time, 5:36.
This is Daniel Pinkwater. I know this guy, Steve. What kind of lawnmower did you buy, he asks me. Grass blaster, I say. Wrong, he says. You should have gotten the Lawn Punisher. It cuts cleaner. Where do you keep your money, he asks. In the bank, I say. Steve says. Peruvian gold certificates is the way to go. One day, Steve asks me, where do you get your car serviced? At the dealer, I say. Wrong, Steve says. My mechanic, Bruce, is better than any dealer mechanic. Well, I tell him, Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer technicians had over 1.6 million hours of training last year alone. That's training to work on their own product, not a zillion kinds of cars. Really, Steve asks? Really, I say. And my dealer has SBDS. That's Service Bay Diagnostic System. It's a special computer system that talks to the computers in your car. Special, just for Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. Has Bruce got one of those? Steve is stumped, and I feel wonderful. It's so nice to be right. Ford and Lincoln Mercury quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
MAQ News Time, 5:37. Now WMAQ Business News, sponsored by KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, and filling in for financial editor Alan Crane, here's Terry Ruffalo.
Stocks had a choppy but quiet trading session today. Investors paused following last week's hectic trading. Events in the Soviet Union kept a cautious tone to the market, and news of July U.S. existing home sales falling 6.7% had little, if any, impact. The Dow closed lower on the day by almost a point at 3039 on turnover of 128 million shares. Transportation average down 3 points, utility average and the NASDAQ stocks both up by about a third. Bonds weakened a little further today. The S&P 500 futures were down 0.15 at 394.50, and the cash index was down 0.32 to 393.85. A group led by FMR Corporation reportedly reduced its holdings in First Chicago Corp. to 5.81% of the shares outstanding, and First Chicago was down a quarter on the news. Digital equipment was unchanged today. Toys R Us up 2 1/8. The chairman of the House Banking Committee called on the Fed to suspend Salomon Brothers as a primary dealer of U.S. government securities until probes of it are completed. Salomon stock up 2 1/4 today. Once again, stocks were lower on the day by a .89. From the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Terry Ruffalo, WMAQ All-News 67.
Business news 7 days a week at 7 and 37 on All News 67.
All airlines are in the business of putting people into seats. The more, the merrier. So consider the curious case of KLM, an airline currently making sure that fewer people end up in its seats. In fact, we've just removed a seat from every business class aisle on every KLM flight within Europe and bestowed the space saved not on furniture, but on people who now have extra room to think, work, or just relax. That's just one of over 70 improvements we're making now and in the months ahead, all with our frequent flyers very much in mind. It was those frequent flyers who gave KLM a reason for being. We're simply giving them a better airline in return. KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, the airline of the seasoned traveler.
When traveling to Hamburg, Bremen, Hanover, or Stuttgart, make effortless connections at Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport. Voted the best international airport by seasoned business travelers. Call your travel agent or KLM, Chicago's reliable airline to the world.
Hot news happens fast. Hot news happens right before your eyes. When you see hot news happening, dial HOT-NEWS. That's hot news on WMAQ All-News 67.
This is WMAQ All-News 67. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
We have 91 degrees and mostly sunny skies at 5:40 on this Monday, the 26th of August. Good afternoon, I'm Lisa Meyer. Here's what's happening. The Chicago School Board may go back on its promise not to close schools to balance the budget. President Bush is hanging back, not yet willing to grant formal diplomatic recognition to the Baltic states. Soviet leader Gorbachev's headaches continue, with the presidents of the individual Soviet republics continuing to push for more power. Highway deaths are at an all-time low, according to the feds. In business, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down fractionally. Volume was off just 128 million shares. In sports, the Bears trim 11 players from their roster. The Bulls seal the deal with Bill Cartwright, and the Sox are hosting or will be playing in Kansas City. The game starts in a little bit over an hour. Now WMAQ traffic and weather. With the weather, here's Paul Hoban.
Hazy sunshine this evening and very warm with temperatures from 82 to 92 degrees. Fair and warm overnight tonight, low only down to 70. Then for tomorrow, partly sunny, continued hazy, hot and humid, high near 95. And looking ahead to Wednesday, more sunshine with little change in temperature, high near 93. Currently at O'Hare, 91 degrees, 92 Midway, 81 Lakefront, relative humidity 34%. The wind is south at 8 miles per hour. Again, the current temperature 91 going down to 70. From Chicago's Weather Command, I'm meteorologist Paul Hoban, exclusively on MAQ All-News 67.
Now WMAQ traffic. Here's Joe Collins.
Currently, Lisa, the outbound side of the Kennedy is pretty heavy leaving downtown out to Ohio, and then we're on the brakes again, Division to Armitage, and then a couple of heavy pockets after that. No big deal on the west end to the junction is about 20, to the airport just over 30. The express lanes will save you 5 minutes. Inbound side, heavy northwest toward at Cumberland, then jammed Austin to Irving Park. That's mostly people going to the Cubs game. We'll head to downtown 35. Outbound Eden's great. Inbound heavy Dundee to Tower and Lake to Old Orchard, and then Lake Cook to Montrose is still just over 25. Outbound Ike heavy Cicero to Manheim, out to Manheim just over 30, and inbound heavy at Manheim and 25th to 1st. Stevenson Expressway slows Ryan to California to the Tri-State 35. Inbound heavy Kedzie to Damon. Ryan main delay 51st to 71st, out to 95th is 25 minutes. Inbound side a little bit heavy into downtown. Northbound Lakeshore Drive still stacks up Randolph to Fullerton. Southbound, no major problems to report. MAQ flight desk from the OAG computer. Inbound flights from Los Angeles still running 2 hours behind. Outbound to Boston about an hour late. With shadow traffic every 10 minutes on the ones. Joe Collins, MAQ All-News 67.
MAQ News Time 5:42. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Board of Education said it would not close any schools, but this afternoon it's decided that by a vote of 4-1, it would close 13 schools, among them Goldsmith, Irving Park, Mulligan Elementary, Chicago Metro, Las Casas, and McLaren High Schools. Also, the entire educational and vocational guidance programs are now on the chopping block. All of this is subject to full board approval, and that could come as early as Wednesday. These cuts, of course, are necessitated by the fact that schools have to open next week, and the board is trying to trim money where it can. You can't accuse President Bush of getting caught up in the rush to recognize the sovereignty of Baltic states.
The president wants to see more cards on the table, more details on how the Soviets resolved the Baltics issue before the U.S. formally recognizes free Baltic states. Bush explains his cautious approach, which bucks a growing international trend of recognizing the Baltics.
I don't want to be a part of making a mistake that might contribute to some kind of anarchy inside the Soviet Union.
The president concedes he does not exactly know how U.S. actions could trigger Soviet anarchy, but he says he does not want to take a chance. Peter Mayer, NBC Radio News, Kennebunkport.
The News Watch never stops on WMAQ All-News Radio 670. Bonnie Buck is at the editor's desk, and our writers this hour are Adrian Braun and Sheila Rogers. Now WMAQ Sports First at 5:43, sponsored by Ambassador Office Equipment. Here's Ron Gleason.
Lisa, the Bears have decided to keep 4 halfbacks on the roster, but among the cuts, 4 wide receivers and a tight end to get down to the 47-man roster limit. WMAQ Steve Oken has all the names from Lake Forest.
James Coley was shocked that he wasn't one of the 2 tight ends that made it. Coley said he'll be playing somewhere else by Tuesday afternoon. On the other side of the coin, Glenn Kozlowski, who was also let go, was anything but bitter.
When you lose something that you really look forward to doing, it hurts a little bit, but you know, I'm 28 years old, I have a family, and a bunch of little spike-head kids just like myself, so there's a lot to look forward to.
Well, because of more roster moves on the way, Koz, along with Tom Waddle, could be back this week. Mickey Pruitt got caught up in a numbers game at linebacker, and he was beaten out by rookie Michael Stonebreaker. Among those that could be back in the practice squad, quarterback Paul Justin, Mike Husar, and Eric Wright. Ron Morris will miss the first 4 weeks of the season. He's been placed on IR along with Chris Gardocki. At Hallis Hall, Steve Olkin, MAQ All-News 67.
Among some of the names to drop around the league, Dave Dorson of the Giants, Dexter Manley by Phoenix, running back Anthony Toney of Philadelphia, the Raiders, Jerry Robinson, plus quarterbacks like Anthony Dilweg, Vince Evans, Cliff Stout, Chuck Long, and Scott Campbell, and Detroit Wave James Wilder. At San Diego, Marion Butts ended his holdout, and at Indianapolis, the Colts have signed free agent tackle Bubba Paris. Basketball, the Bulls officially have signed Bill Cartwright to his new deal. Sources telling WMAQ it's for 3 years, more than $6 million. So how about that, Jerry Krause?
We've gone way, way over the cap. And certainly Billy's got a piece of that. But we've gone way, way over the cap. And we're in a situation now where we have to face life over the cap. And we will be facing that for the next many years to come.
Life over the cap. We'll definitely have a new finals matchup at the U.S. Tennis Open this year. One of the 90 finalists, Andre Agassi. He's been ousted in round 1 by Aaron Krickstein, and in straight sets at that. Winners so far include Sellers, Sabatini, and Capriati, but number 13, Andrei Cherkasov, has lost to Jonas Svensson. John McEnroe, winner. But Doug Rader has turned into the latest managerial loser. He's been fired by the last-place Angels today, replaced by Buck Rogers, the ex-Expos skipper, who was fired in June. The slumping White Sox are in Kansas City with live coverage starting at 7:20 on WMAQ. Charlie Huff against Brett Saberhagen. And a great matchup in town of some veterans making comebacks this year. Rick Sutcliffe having won 2 straight. Oral Hershiser for L.A. Dodgers in town for a night game against the Cubs. Ron Gleason, WMAQ All-News 67.
Wow! Look at this! A 1961 World Series card set, $5,200. Oh, I should have kept my baseball cards.
I collect baseball cards too, you know.
Yeah, sure you did. Well, I never should have thrown those cards away.
I kept mine.
I had a 61 Series set.
I did get rid of a few cards for a big down payment on my condo.
Don't let a rookie copier throw your business a shoulda curve either. Call 34-CANON and ask about the Canon NP6650, a 3-time winner of Data Pro's award for quality and reliability. Whatever your office needs, there's a Canon copier that's right for you.
I should have kept my baseball cards.
Stop whining.
So don't get caught saying shoulda. Call 34-CANON today and ask the copier experts at Ambassador Office Equipment about your copier needs. That's 34-CANON.
Ambassador Office Equipment is a wholly owned subsidiary of Canon USA.
MAQ News Time, 5:46. Now WMAQ's official extended weather forecast. It'll be mostly fair, hazy, and very warm this evening, with temperatures ranging between 82 and 92 degrees. Overnight, mostly fair and warm with a low near 70. On Tuesday, partly sunny, continued hazy, hot and humid with a high once again near 95 degrees. The outlook for Wednesday, a high near 93, and it'll be partly sunny, a little bit less humidity. Currently 81 degrees at the lakefront, 92 at Midway, 91 at O'Hare. There's new evidence that nationwide campaigns to stop you from drinking and driving and start you wearing seatbelts are working. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is out with new numbers that show traffic fatality rates are at an all-time low, a little over 2 per 100 million miles of travel. The political tug-of-war continues in the Soviet Union, with Mikhail Gorbachev trying to hang on to what he has, and the presidents of the Soviet republics trying to get some of that for themselves.
After Gorbachev spoke to the Supreme Soviet Legislature to try to preserve his authority,
leaders of key republics called for drastic changes in his plan to hold the country together. Kazakhstan President Nursultan Nazarbayev demanded an immediate decision on the question of full freedoms for the Baltics and all others seeking independence. Nazarbayev, president of the second largest and fourth most populous republic, had previously opposed secession, but now he's suggesting a union of independent states without even a national parliament. Karen Sloan, AP Network News, Moscow.
MAQ News Time, 5:48.
The all-new 1991 Park Avenue is a great value at its suggested list price, but now it's available at a Joe Rizza final price, $4,000 less than list. A brand-new Park Avenue complete with factory air, airbag, anti-lock brakes, power windows, seat, stereo cassette with concert sound, power antenna, power locks, trunk, remote control fuel door, keyless entry, Twilight Sentinel, aluminum wheels, and more. Buick suggested list price, $26,786. Joe Rizza price with all discounts and rebates supplied, $22,786. Or choose the Joe Rizza Smart Lease Plan with an interest rate of 1.55%. Lease your new Park Avenue for $380 a month for 36 months. Total lease payments, $13,680. Residual value, $10,715. Total due at lease inception, first payment of $380 plus refundable security deposit of $400. Own a new Park Avenue for $22,786. Or lease a new Park Avenue for $380 a month at Joe Rizza, 119th and Harlem in Palos Heights.
MAQ News Time, 5:49. Chicago schools are supposed to open in a week, but they won't unless the school board trims more fat from the budget. They're in the process of doing that now, and as they whittle away, Mayor Daley's watching from the sidelines.
For weeks, Daley's been prodding the school board to cut, and so he's all for the latest plan to cut another 105 bureaucrats. But the mayor says school officials still haven't made the cuts they should have made a long time ago.
They didn't make it 6 months ago. They didn't make it 4 months ago. They didn't make it 3 months ago. And 2 months ago. 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, now you have to make it within a week.
But Daley says he still has no plans to intervene. At City Hall, Bill Cameron, MAQ All-News 67.
It's just amazing now that, I'm in the clubhouse pitching to Carlton Fisk. He was a big hero growing up, and now here I'm in the same locker room and pitching to the guy.
White Sox pitcher, Don Paul.
I was so nervous the first time pitching to him. I'm standing on the mound thinking, all right, can I shake him off or can I not shake him off? Here's no way I throw. But he knows all these hitters. So I shake him off. I'm worried he's going to come out here and slap me up the head with his mask and say, you idiot, you're a rookie, just listen to what I call out there. I was really kind of nervous about that. As a rookie, that's the way you think, coming in. But now you realize that you're both working as a team out there, and you've got to show what you believe in.
White Sox baseball. Brand new, old-fashioned fun.
Thursday night, August 29th, the Sox face the Indians at 6:05, and Friday at 7:05, when the first 20,000 adults will receive a hip pack courtesy of Miller Lite Beer. Saturday night, enjoy a fireworks show sponsored by IVI Travel after the game. And Sunday afternoon, September 1st, all kids in attendance will receive a batting helmet from Coca-Cola. For tickets, call 312-831-1SOX.
MAQ News Time, 5:51. Now WMAQ traffic and weather on the ones. Don't expect a break in the weather anytime soon. We are expecting a high of 95 degrees again tomorrow, continued hot and humid, and a low of just 70 degrees overnight. Weather, though, traffic is changing, though. We have to turn to Joe Collins and find that out from him. Joe?
No way, Lisa. Not right now. Anyway, we're still looking at big delays northbound Lakeshore Drive. It's a Cubs game against the Dodgers tonight at Wrigley Field. Somebody just called us and said, how come I'm in a backup? I'm going to the Cubs game. Well, you're not the only one. It's jammed up Randolph to Fullerton, Monroe to Hollywood, almost 35 minutes right now. Southbound, though, that's a much better story. No problems at 57. Meantime, still big problems in the suburbs. And Captain Don Nelson, as always, what is the deal?
Still an area to avoid till Westchester on southbound Manheim Road between the Eisenhower and Cermak Road because of an earlier disabled truck. We're on our way to go check and see if that's still there. And the other problem on the southbound Tri-State of Wolf Road as you come around the curve there. An accident off on the left shoulder, so we're delayed now through the Irving Park Toll Plaza to about Wolf Road. A little ways south of the Bensonville Bridge. After that, just a couple of heavy pockets. No big problems at the 83rd Street Toll Plaza. Westbound on the east-west tollway. Kind of messy from Midwest Road out to Route 53. And southbound on Route 83. It's pretty well jammed up from Pratt down to that Irving Park overpass over the railroad tracks there. South of there, a couple of heavy pockets. Still delays 80-94, but quite nice to what they were last week. The westbound side a little tight between Klein and Kennedy. I'm Captain Don Nelson, MAQ Suburban Air Patrol.
Don elsewhere, the Kennedy to the junction, not quite 20 to the airport, just over 30 express lanes save you. A couple inbound heavy northwest over to Cumberland, Foster to Irving Park, Belmont to Fullerton, O'Hare to downtown, 35. Outbound Eden's okay. Inbound Lake Cook to Montrose is 25. The Eisenhower to Manheim, not quite 30. And inbound heavy 25th to First and around Harlem. Stevenson to the Tri-State, 35. And inbound heavy Kedzie to Damon. The Ryan out to 95th is 25 minutes. Inbound side still looks in pretty decent shape. MAQ Transit Desk says no problems on Metro or Pace. With shadow traffic every 10 minutes on the ones, Joe Collins, MAQ All-News 67.
Okay, I'm going to go through this once, but if you can pay attention, once is enough. This week, when you buy at least $200 worth of any brand name appliances and electronics at Sears Brand Central, and you put it on your Sears charge, you make no payments and pay no finance charge and get no billing until next year. Hey, you can enjoy the fall. After that, it's regular credit terms again. They call it the delayed billing option. I call it a good deal, but you got to ask for it at Sears Brand Central. The brands you want at the store you trust. See store for details.
It's finally here. The Goodyear Buy 3, Get the 4th Tire free sale. Buy 3 Invicta GL all-season radios and get the 4th Invicta GL free. Buy 3 Eagle ST performance radios and get the 4th Eagle ST free. Or buy 3 Wrangler HT light truck radios and get the 4th Wrangler HT free. Don't miss out. See your participating Goodyear retailer today for the sale you've been waiting for. But don't wait too long. Sale ends September 7th.
MAQ News Time, 5:54. Classes are supposed to start in the Naperville schools tomorrow, but at this point, no one's quite sure whether that'll happen. Teachers and the school board reps are meeting in closed session. What they get done will determine whether or not there is a strike. School officials are advising parents to keep an ear peeled to the radio. Needless to say, as soon as we hear any word, you get it. Letting someone out of jail on a home detention program involves a judgment call, and unfortunately, the call is sometimes wrong, as police in Downers Grove have found out.
Police here can't say what crime 18-year-old Anthony B. committed in the past, but he was not considered a danger. He was violating home detention the night police here say he murdered gas station clerk Wayne Baker, unloading a .38 caliber handgun in the 62-year-old clerk for $130.
That's correct. At the time that the robbery was committed, he was supposed to be at home.
Lieutenant Dave Reckenmacher says B's 26-year-old brother Joseph was in the car at the time. They were traced through fingerprints left at the scene, both charged with murder and robbery. In Downers Grove, Mike Krauser, MAQ All-News 67.
They take their high school sports very seriously in Texas, and perhaps they feel the same way about cheerleading. Wanda Holloway is on trial, accused of trying to get a hitman to murder the mother of her daughter's cheerleading rival. Mrs. Holloway's attorneys say the charges are a setup, that her brothers are trying to get custody of her daughter. Prosecutors say that Holloway actually had 2 murders in mind, but settled on just the mother, thinking it would be easier. The jury that has to make sense of all this could sentence Holloway to life in prison. MAQ News Time, 5:55.
Why is it that at most clearance sales, you never seem to find what you're looking for? When the prices are low, there's never any selection. And when the selection is good, the low prices are never around.